This is what you need to know now. New developments in the war with Iran now expanding beyond the Gulf as new video shows fighter jets in direct combat. The first U.S. evacuation flight touches down, bringing home Americans who were trapped in the war zone. New signs of movement along the Iraq-Iran border raising fears a fresh front could open. Plus, a developing investigation in Utah. 3 women found dead, and authorities now searching for answers. And paying tribute to Lou Holtz and his lessons for life. We have much more what you need to know now. I'm Rachel Scott from ABC News here at the White House. It is Thursday, March 5th. This is what you need to know. Let's get right to the big story. Iran launched a new wave of attacks against Israel as Israel and the U.S. hammered Iran for a 6th straight day. An Iranian government agency says the death toll in Iran has reached at least 1,200 people. Meanwhile, Israel says one of its fighter jets shot down an Iranian fighter jet over Tehran. Officials say it marks the first time an F-35 has ever shot down an aircraft in combat. And now Iran's foreign minister is warning that the U.S. will come to regret the, quote, precedent set after a submarine sank an Iranian warship with a torpedo. Ian Pannell is tracking the latest developments from Tel Aviv.
Yeah, Rachel, we're seeing clear signs of the U.S. ramping up its war against Iran, launching a torpedo against an Iranian naval vessel off the coast of Sri Lanka. The ship with 180 people on board sinking. Authorities saying only just over 30 people were rescued there. The U.S. making it clear that it's escalating its strikes, but Iran showing its continued capability to retaliate. And I think there are concerns here that a conflict that originally began with relatively narrow aims that was going to last days is now expanding exponentially and looks set to continue for weeks.
The war between the U.S., Israel, and Iran has escalated each day, now impacting an additional 14 countries across the region and beyond. Azerbaijan accuses Iran of attacking one of its airports with drones on Thursday, injuring 4 people. Tehran has denied launching the drones. In Qatar, loud blasts were heard over Doha as smoke was seen rising in the distance. The Ministry of Defense said the country was targeted in an Iranian attack, 14 ballistic missiles and 4 drones. Qatari officials say all but 1 projectile was intercepted as 1 missile landed in the water. In Iraq, authorities say an Iranian drone hit a Christian housing complex, damaging a building that shelters families displaced from previous wars in the region. No one was injured. Church officials say the building was evacuated due to its proximity to an airport. And all of this comes as fears continue to grow that a new front in the war could soon open, with reports of possible movement along the border between Iraq and Iran. James is on the border in northern Iraq.
We've heard a couple of things today. First, it sounds like Tehran might have sent military reinforcements to their side of the border, and this is because it looks like they're taking this idea seriously that there might be some kind of ground incursion into the country. We've seen these reports that perhaps the United States and Israel has been funding groups on this side of the border to launch that attack. Well, maybe Tehran has heard that, and maybe they're trying to figure out a response. Again, it's so hard to verify any of this. We cannot operate freely inside Iran, but it just feels like maybe something is shifting.
Officials say more flights are being arranged across the region as the attacks continue and as air travel remains disrupted. Perry Russum is at New York's JFK Airport.
A plane arrived this afternoon at JFK International Airport in New York City that came from Dubai. That was one of the first planes to leave the area in the past couple of days after the conflict in Iran started. There's some questions about whether or not this plane was at least partially chartered by the State Department. We spoke with three different groups of people as they were coming off of the plane. One woman who identified herself as a diplomat told us that this was a commercial plane, the first one to leave the area in the past couple of days, but there is the possibility that the State Department at least purchased a couple seats on the plane that would make this a partially chartered plane. But still, right now, there is no evidence that the U.S. government was involved in this plane at all. It's been a tense few days overseas with Americans trying to get back home to the U.S. Confusion and panic. Some are not relying on the U.S. government to get back home. They're driving to other countries. But the State Department says they're taking historic action to help as many Americans as they can. They've helped at least 10,000 Americans so far.
The State Department says more than 17,000 Americans have already left the region since the fighting began, most on their own, using commercial flights. In Washington, the House is voting Thursday on a measure aimed at blocking further U.S. military action in Iran unless the president gets congressional approval first. The push comes after Senate Republicans rejected a very similar bill. The Constitution gives Congress the sole power to declare war, but the president ordered strikes anyway. Only one Republican, Senator Rand Paul, joined most Democrats in supporting the resolution. And over in the House, the Speaker, Mike Johnson, is insisting the U.S. is not at war.
We're not at war right now. We're 4 days in to a very specific, clear mission, an operation.
But hours after that comment, President Trump referred to the conflict as a war while speaking with reporters here at the White House. While the war of words plays out, an actual fight broke out during this Senate hearing. An anti-war protester identified as 44-year-old Brian McGinnis clashed with police. Montana Senator Tim Sheehy then helped officers remove him. His arm appeared to break. He now faces multiple charges, including assaulting an officer. And we have much more of what you need to know. Stay with us. Here's your daily briefing. Other big stories we are following on ABC News. Sources tell us President Trump has called Republicans and top allies asking whether he should remove Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem from the job. The discussions come after tense Capitol Hill hearings this week, where Noem faced sharp questioning from Democrats and even some Republicans over immigration enforcement. We reached out to the White House and DHS for comment. Authorities have taken a suspect into custody in the deaths of 3 women found in Utah. Investigators say the man was tracked through southern Utah into northern Arizona and on into Colorado, where he was arrested. Earlier, police in Wayne County, Utah, say the 2 victims were discovered on a hiking trail, while a 3rd woman was found dead at a nearby home. The identities of the victims, believed to be in their 30s, 60s, and 80s, have not been released. And we are learning more about this small plane that crashed into a Phoenix neighborhood. Authorities say the plane was trying to return to a small airport when it suffered a mechanical problem. Home surveillance camera captured the moment the plane fell out of the sky. 3 people were injured: the pilot, a student, a passenger, and a person inside that house. And another change to the Las Vegas Strip. The former East Side Canary came down in seconds in a planned implosion early Thursday morning. The casino and hotel was closed during the pandemic back in 2020 and never reopened. No plans have been made so far for the site, at least that have been released. It marks the first Las Vegas casino implosion since the Tropicana last year. And new today, Senate Republican leaders are urging President Trump to endorse John Cornyn for re-election. The longtime Texas senator faces a primary runoff against the state attorney general Ken Paxton in May after neither candidate received a majority of Tuesday's vote. President Trump declined to endorse either one of them in the first round of voting. Now, several media outlets report he will soon endorse Cornyn to help Republicans avoid a very costly fight. And finally, before you go, college football fans are mourning the death of legendary coach Lou Holtz. Over nearly 5 decades on the sidelines, Holtz became known for turning struggling programs into winners, most famously at the University of Notre Dame. He led the Fighting Irish to an undefeated season and national championship in 1988 and later worked as a television analyst for ESPN. He is also remembered for his fiery yet inspirational speeches and quotes.
God didn't put us on this earth to be average. He put us on this earth to be the best we can.
Lou Holtz was 89 years old. And that's what you need to know. For breaking news and live updates throughout the day, check out ABC News, streaming on Disney+. New episodes streaming every day on Disney+.